Hello, Ryan Garland. I am your host of the Paradigm Shift. I cannot wait to expose the true inner depths of institutional wealth building and how to dig deep into real estate investing. Hey everybody, Ryan Garland here, founder and chairman of Paradyme. Thank you very much for watching the Paradigm Shift podcast. I'm extremely honored and excited today to introduce you to Aaron. He owns Hot Solutions, which is all of our air conditioning, which by the way, it's 109 or 10 outside, and we're inside this metal building, and it's 70 degrees, and he's the one who made us feel more and more comfortable. And all of the people that come in here and enjoy the man caves, he's the guy that's able to create that atmosphere. So I think one of the things that I want to touch on, which I think is so important that a lot of operators are just not offering their network, is guys like him that actually perform the work and that are boots on the ground every single day, getting it done and hearing from their perspective, you know, how they got into the business, where they are now, the labor issues, like kind of wherever we decide to take this conversation, we're going to go with it. But again, I want you guys to know who it is that's behind the scenes, that's making us work. So for those of you that are not necessarily competitors, but trying to get into the space, feel free to reach out to this guy. And you're going to hear shortly all the things that he's done to help us get to where we are today. But that's one of the reasons why I want to highlight this gentleman. So Aaron, thanks very much for coming on, brother.
First of all, thank you, Ryan, for giving me the shot out of kind of nowhere, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of had a no name here.
Well, dude, you know,
fresh to the business.
Well, you know, Eric, you know, obviously Chloe, which is now your fiance. So congratulations.
Thank you.
But, you know, he was talking about, hey, I got a lady that's on my team and her boyfriend does AC if you ever want to give him a shot. Now, I didn't know who you were. Yeah. I didn't even know Chloe at the time. That was kind of out of nowhere. Yeah. Left field there. And then you hooked up with my father.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, for those of you that don't know, my father, and I hope he doesn't watch this, he's the Karen around here. I need to put him on as a president of the HOA because he's the one like walking around with coffee, tattletelling on everybody and making sure the site's really clean, which is really cool. So we're going to talk about your son in a second. But so my old man actually reached out to you. I think, how did you guys connect? You and my old man?
So I actually kind of went through a screw up. So I was doing a unit and install for someone else here, and I put the drain a little bit too high for his liking. And your old man, he came over and he was like, got on me about it. And he's like, I'm going to get with the owner of the thing and have him redo that.
And he didn't tell you I was,
he was talking about going after the person that owned the storage unit because they didn't go to the HOA. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I put it in. Let me take care of it. And it's on me.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who he was. He just came around and
hence my father is Karen.
He followed me around and he was watching me like a hawk, and I was thinking he was just some old guy walking around here checking stuff out. And then after he came by, he's like, hey, I really appreciate how you handled that, and kind of let me in on who he was after the fact and went from there. Yeah.
He's a good man, dude. You guys actually have gotten pretty close.
Oh, yeah. He actually came over and helped me build my office out.
Yeah. My dad's a good man.
Yeah. I was out there working on my personal office at like 10 o'clock at night. And he called me and I was like, what's up? He's like, what are you doing? I was building an office. He's like, oh, I'll come up there.
Yeah.
So he helps me. We talk all the time now.
He loves to tinker, man. You know, my old man, he's a
straight up guy.
And I try to tell everybody, you know, this is kind of the atmosphere of Paradyme. You know, people don't quite know all of the things that really go on behind the scenes. And that's where the family-oriented kind of family office and environment really lays here, is the amount of connections and the deep-rooted connections that are happening here, you know? And I remember I walked into the unit when you were working. Yeah. And that's what right? And then
that's
I think
the first
you were
time
doing,
we met. Yeah.
Yeah, you were actually covering all the condensation lines. And I'm like, dude, you're doing really good. I kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, man, I would love to bid this job. Or I don't remember what you said. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Bid it out.
Yeah.
You know,
and
I think
from there, it kind of,
You did a really good job. And I'm like, you know what? And I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Dennis or who it was that I was talking to. But I think you and I spent we connected a couple other days. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, because we're right in the middle of bidding all the ACs. Yep. And I said, you know what? Go ahead and bid it. And then I remember looking at your bid and you were like better than everybody else because you wanted the job.
Yeah.
And then you and I started connecting. And the thing that caught my attention that is one of the focuses for me here is that you put your nail bags on, dude. You're the one actually doing the work. And I remember you just had a very humbly, you're like, hey, give me a shot. I promise I won't let you down.
And I was barely in business, maybe 6-7 months. Mm-hmm. It was me and one other guy, and we were like, we could do this.
Yeah.
And I was out here many nights, like running my lift alone, you know, just
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, you'd watch me on the cameras. Yep. And then from there, we've built a pretty good, successful team here now.
And I'll never forget the time you called me, and not only did you send me a picture of the ring that you got engaged with Chloe, but you called me and you said, "Hey, I've never been this financially secure in my life, and I made my first $100,000 month."
Yeah.
And you're like, I want you. I don't know who else to call. I know you understand, but
that was an interesting deal too, because it was another project that we had. It wasn't even a Paradyme project, and we got it from people seeing our work here.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was a whole nother project, and it was a storage unit project, and they were going to be renting those out, and I was like, man, this is different, you know, like me and Ryan had gotten close. I'm going to call him, like, this is, who do you call, you know? And you were excited about it, you know, and I was like, see, I
was so proud of you, because I know the feeling of that security, you know, and when you work as hard as you, I mean, dude, you're literally pulling all-nighters. I mean, I'm literally watching your Instagram. You're getting in your boat to drive across the river to fix AC units in the middle of the night. I mean, it's impressive.
Like yesterday, we started a big commercial project at 6 a.m. We ran out to California to get a fan we needed at 6:45 at night. Yeah. Got back here at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. and started again at 6. You know, but that's the grind to get to where we've gotten, you know.
And so let's talk about Samsung and some of the units that you're putting up here, and just kind of the desire that now other people have for our product, because we set the tone in the city, really.
Yeah. So there, like, you came in with this and you're like, is this even possible? You know? And I was like, we could get them on the roof. We can make it work. And then we had other clients kind of reach out to us, and they're like, you can put them on the roof. And we're like, yeah, like this is what we're doing, you know, and kind of broke it down from there. And this is the type of unit that we're putting in here is, they have them in California, but it's the first ones in Arizona. And here we come in and order 200 of them, you know, and they're like, who's this no-name company, you know, coming out? And then they started looking into our research and who my father-in-law is and this project and on. And it was like, oh, it makes sense, you know, look at what this kid's doing.
So what do you think? Do you think Paradyme contributed to where you are now, as far as, you know, building awareness of you working on Paradyme through our social media and all of our marketing? Has it helped you get other business?
Oh, 100%, you know, especially in the commercial game, you know. So when I started this only a year and a half ago, it was just residential. I had a 5-year plan of getting into the commercial game. Everybody that asked me was a 5-year plan, because realistically, that's what it would take. Yeah. You know, no one's going to give you a shot on a project of this magnitude, you know, no matter who was behind you or not, or how you could do it. Like, you walk up to a developer or someone in your shoes and you say, hey, give me a shot. Like, it's not realistic, you know. Yeah. No one's going to take that risk on, especially the magnitude of the project, you know. It's not a little job, you know.
Well, you know, that's how I've gotten to where I'm at today too. You know, is I had guys open the doors for me, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I figured it out. Yeah. And that's why, but those are the people that's what it's going to take. Yeah. You know, so anyways,
people.
Yeah. So keep going. So, and I want you to tell a story about the one time you were wearing the Paradyme hat.
Oh, so I went over,
because you represent Paradyme.
You see it. Yeah. So like, even my social media, like before this, I barely had anything up there. Yeah. And then we had a few phone calls every other night, you know, and it was like, you need to boost this, you need to do that. And so I started doing it, and went and bought a drone because of your boy. Yeah. And started flying my drone around and doing some social media, and it kicked off, you know, and I was like, well, obviously what Ryan's saying is working, you know? Yeah. And so, it kind of goes from there.
So I may be wrong, so forgive me, and I don't want to, you know, say something that's not true. But Eric was telling me, and I think it was Eric, that you are kind of now known as being like the larger commercial AC guy now out here.
Yeah, so it kind of started from here. There's only 2 other real big companies that are able to handle it, you know, and then so we come in and nobody even really looked at us. We just kind of started going and getting this stuff, and then your marketing puts us out there like crazy. Yep. And then slowly but surely, so like with Eric, who kind of brought us into you and everything, he's getting real big in the commercial game this year too. And so his people, he only uses us. So from there it's branched too, and then they see us actually producing the work over here, and it's kind of put us on the map. So now we got, like, it's crazy because most companies of our size, they don't see any, like, wintertime, their guys are expected to not be working, you know? Right. So having
Paradyme, you guys are doing new installs is what you're going to be doing.
You're doing new installs, you know? But now we're in the commercial game, and that's a game changer, because I was looking at my desk the other day, we have 6 big monster $100,000 jobs, you know? And
well, if you think about my project, you have, just for example, Barn Caves is 508,000 square feet, including the gym, which is a massive undertaking. Because I need you to do filtration for the underground pool and all that fun stuff. And then you have the rest of Paradyme Storage. Then you got Dover.
That project alone.
That project's
I'm stoked on that one too.
Well, dude, I think that the nature of what you're going to design, I mean, all of that industrial, I want everything painted black.
And that's the cool thing is you've given me the freedom to, like, you see my work and you're like, do it, you know? Yeah. And that's huge. But
you actually do more good work. Though.
You get the best quality, you know, and I get to run. It's like an artist, you know, like, because we look at our trade and we have passion in it. We're not just here making money. Like, we could throw these mini splits up here and it'd be done and it'd be quick, you know, or we could throw them up the super clean way and hide everything behind the walls and everything in line with the lasers. And it's a different animal, but it's the Paradyme standard, you know? Yeah,
that's the way we do it. For sure.
And it's kept us to our standard of that.
I think what's nice is a lot of the groups out here are starting to realize, like, Paradyme really brought more of an institutional grade, higher level touch to our product. And that's really kind of creating momentum throughout the industry. And so I ask everybody else that also comes in on the podcast, what do you believe the reputation is of Paradyme overall in the city? I know you guys are haters, don't get me wrong, because there's people that, well, I don't know how many, but I could only imagine when it comes to the competition.
It's different.
Know? Yeah.
It's like nothing anyone's seen, you know? Yeah. And like this, so you get into new construction and it's the cheapest way you could possibly make it happen, you know? And then you get into what you're doing and you're like, I want it right. I want it clean. I want the best of the best. Yeah. And that's not a normal thing, you know? Yeah.
But look at, we're still delivering a product cheaper than what other competitors are. And you come here and you're like, wait, hold on. Like the insulated walls, you know, just all of the stuff that we're adding to it. People are going, wait, this is awesome. And the sheer size too.
Well, and people the thing too is that you're open to listening to, like, for example, like buying our equipment. We get that price increase that was coming up. And I said, hey, Ryan, like, let's sit down. We don't have contracts on anything else, but I got this notice. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Because if I save, you save, the buyer saves. Yeah. And you're like 100%. Yeah, let's do it. Let's sign.
Here's $500,000.
And I was like, that's $500,000. You don't want to think about it? And you're like, no, like, it makes sense. But we've built that over time, you know,
but that's kind of the point, right? That's the reason for the podcast, is to share with people when you have guys that show up and have earned it and actually have done it, and they are forever thankful. For example, the reason I want to highlight you is because you were so thankful for the opportunity, and I really appreciate that, because that's not normal for me. Yeah, you know, most people are takers from me, and to actually have good guys, and that's why my father really takes to you. You know, you're in the family now, bro.
Oh yeah,
you don't just do my AC, you're like in the fam, you know.
Yeah, I shook his hand the other day and he was like, what is that? And he hugged me. I was like, okay. And I didn't grow up with that. I'm not used to family and stuff like that, you know.
But you know what that does though is it creates a connection to the game, to our game. You know, when we're coming in, you see the sacrifice, you know, my story. And when you see what we have coming up, I mean, we're talking about a couple $100 million in projects, and that's assuming I don't buy anything else. Yeah, you know,
that's just staying where we're at right now. So it's on track.
You got 5 years of contracts. Yeah. I mean, for anybody that is in at your level, subspace level, 5 years of consistent business, like that is nothing but a good feeling, you know. And that's why, like, if I was in your shoes, you know, knowing what you've been through, you got, you know, single father, and now you're getting engaged, and you got a great woman, and I love her to death. Yeah. She's so kind to me. She's always treating me with so much appreciation, and she's so kind. She's a good one. She's a good one. She's very, very sweet. And so, you know, but, you know, I know where your head's at, you know, and I feel like, I don't want to say like I feel good because I helped you there, but I know where your head's at, and I know, like, that's why you call me and you're like, hey, bro, like, check out what I've gotten. You know, look
I got a funny story. I got this. I got that. Yeah.
So let's talk about a funny story. Let's talk about when you wore the Paradyme hat when somebody recruited you.
Well, okay. So we went to another commercial project, and I was like, how'd you hear about us? He's like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. And he's like, I was at Home Depot and I looked across the street, and meaning Home Depot, you can see all our units in line up there. You can see it all. And he was like, then I got on social media and I asked around and I figured out who did it. And now you're standing here. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really think about it. You know, I represent Paradyme everywhere.
Yeah.
So like, like how many new hats have I gotten off you?
A lot, yeah, for sure.
And
Out of all my subs, you've had the most.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I roll in there and I'm rocking my Paradyme hat, and it's a competitor, you know, per se. And so we sit down and he's like, "You wore the wrong hat here." And I looked him straight in the eye. No, I didn't. Like, this is the hat. You know, you know who I am. You found me from there, like, you know, still humble about it, but this is,
and he's like, all right.
And he was like super cool. He was like, no, you guys did great work over there. And I was like, my guys are on it. Like, everybody knows we have a standard, and my guys, like, I don't have to worry about it.
Well, and how many people do you have on your crew now?
We have 5 guys now.
Good.
Yep.
And you're busy.
They're all running. They're all working too much now.
Yeah.
You know,
I see Chase running around. Well, that's what's even great, because now his lady's pregnant.
Well, she's pregnant. He just bought a new truck the other day, and I was like, it felt good to see my guys doing that, you know, like
it's a big deal, dude.
Yeah. Chloe texted me and she's like, that's pretty cool that he bought a new truck. Like, you were able to provide like that. And I was like, yeah, it's first year and a half in, and they took a chance. Like, they took a chance on me, really thinking about it, you know, these guys coming on, and it's worked out. You know
what's really cool? And that's kind of the part of where I think a lot of people don't understand how private equity works, right? Where, you know, if I'm able to raise capital and I'm able to deliver good projects, then I can keep that ball rolling.
Yeah.
And everybody that works on the project at whatever capacity, if they're all bought in and they care about their families and they actually care about their jobs and delivering a good product for their reputation, and in essence, it's its own economy.
Yeah, within these walls, really.
It really is. Yeah. So that's why I was telling, like, Dennis and I had lunch today, and I was telling him, like, look, man, you could tell, like, we're scaling. I'm bringing Josh in more because we're getting to a point as we grow, we need more oversight, you know, and just more knowledge, more people around the table making sure we're solid, you know. And he goes, yeah, I totally love it. I know where you're going with it. And I said, what's nice is that you guys are all taking a lot of the construction weight off me at this point. So I can focus on acquisitions and making sure we raise capital and obviously be compliant and all the things that we need, and helping our investors make good decisions for their future, because it trickles down from them, meaning without them, we wouldn't be in business. Two, you know, they're also investing their retirement plan. So it would be naive to think that one day you come to me in 10, 15 years and go, Ryan, I got $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. I need to put to work.
Yeah.
Where should I want to invest with you.
Yeah.
That's so imagine that's where these people are.
And that's because like all your podcasts and stuff, I sit in on all the webinars. Like I watch them from my truck as I'm driving around, you know?
Thank you, man.
And because I've learned a lot just on the back end of everything, you know, like I like to learn my business, but I want to know who I'm working with and all the other stuff, you know? Yeah. And like Brianna in your back office, like she's awesome.
She's bad.
She's on it. Yeah.
That's my girl, man.
So like I like to see all that other stuff. And I've sat in on meetings with you that had nothing to do with me up in the office, you know, and you're like, sit down. And I've heard how you talk to people and how you get the respect and and with other contractors as well, you know, and it's cool. Yeah. It's cool to see it.
We're blessed. But again, it's because and I tell everybody, like, come to me with humility. Yeah. You know, I woke up the other day, now this is a little personal, but I told Kara, I said, babe, I'm so broken all the time. Like as a real man, right? It's even biblical to be broken all the time. I'm working hard. I'm away from my family. The list kind of goes on. And I said, I'm so thankful. At the same time, I'm humbled because, you know, I did the numbers just on this project and some of the projects. We have almost 300 people that have been paid at some level from us. When you look at that, you're like, you know, that's a pretty cool feeling. You're able to give back. So then what happens is, in my opinion, and this is for me, when you really care about other people and you have the selfless component in you, you get addicted to that. Yeah. It's not the money. The money will follow. Yeah. It's like you really enjoy the conversations of how many people have we helped? How many people have, and that's why that's why Rob was in here yesterday. That's why I'm bringing everybody in, because I want the network to see that it's not about the money in the cars and the fluff. Like that all follows. It's like the amount of real weight we add to people, you know, is the whole point.
You've called me once. It was way back when. You probably don't remember, but I think I had gotten like halfway through on building C and I was running like crazy, you know, and I brought down our crew from California to help out, and I had a ton of people here. We were getting it done, you know, and we were getting after it. And then I was driving down McCulloch and you called me and you're like, how you doing, buddy? And I was like, good. What's up, Ryan? Like, Ryan, because we were still new. We didn't really know each other. And you're like, how's everything going? Just talking. And I was like, man, like, I went from nobody, like one guy I had Chase with me.
Yeah.
And now here we are, 10 guys running on this job. You know, there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to take that transition, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that, you know, and I could tell when you called me, like you're like, how's everything going on, you know? And you said, like, even on a personal level, like, if you already want to go to lunch, and I was like, okay, like, this is Ryan though, you know, like, and that's kind of when I knew that's when,
you know, it's because, first of all, you and I are like the same age, and your story, my story is so similar. And then like, you're like a brother to me. Like, my old man sees you the way he sees, like, I could tell we just couldn't connect.
Yeah, we clicked like that. Yeah,
we really have. And then, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, it's funny because Dennis and Josh have been trying to get me, and even Mike, my CEO, right? He's like, I'm trying to get you out of construction, but I'm like, I'm so hands-on. Eric always tells me, he's like, you talk to all the subs, you're so hands-on. I'm like, I'm here to help, man. And I want their businesses to grow. Yeah. Nick, like, did you see Nick's post today? He's like, dude, he doesn't ever post about other people's projects. He only posts about ours.
Paradyme, yeah.
Like today, he's like one of the best projects, what have you. And he's just like totally thankful for it.
Yep.
But then I heard, and the reason why I reached out, because I think Nick or Eric told me too, that Nick's getting big commercial contracts too now.
Yeah, Nick is running wild. He's doing it, you know.
And I told everybody, I said, the power of my social media is actually a real deal. And I have real people there.
And I've seen Nick around, you know, I've seen him in town before, but never till he was here, you know. Well, and I finally started talking to him here, and I was seeing how he's grown and everything, because he was growing, and then this came on, and he knocked it out. I think he was like in Hawaii or something when you called him up.
Yeah, he was.
And he was on a beach somewhere, and you're like, I can you come in and do this?
Yeah.
And like next week he was here with all his crew, knocking stuff out.
And he did too.
Like, yeah, he killed it. He got us out of that, and I was like, that's a guy like
he slayed it.
You know, like he snapped and he came and he handled it. And it's cool to know that you're with other contractors like that. And if we have an issue up there, like powers here or there, I call them. And like I was working on another project, and I needed we had a scissor lift dead on our trailer, and it was like early in the morning. I had to move ours to that one, and I called him up and I was like, hey dude, can I rent your scissor lift? I'll bring you some cash, your trailer. And he's like, dude, what's mine is yours. Like, go ahead and grab it. And I was like, okay, like this is who we're working with, you know?
And that's what I'm hoping to keep bringing those people in our circle.
Yeah.
Because that means everyone's helping each other.
It makes it smoother, you know? We all here it for the same goal at the end of the day, you know?
And everyone's, you know, it was kind of cool. Andy Frisella said something that really caught my attention, dude. It said that America was built on the back of tired men.
Yep.
And I really, really appreciated that, you know, because there's so much truth to that.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at these boys you guys are cranking at 115-degree heat. You're trying to work all night just to stay cool. Like, you guys work. And I think that's I don't think people around the country understand that. Because you guys, cold is everything has its own game.
Yep.
You know, but I mean, the heat, I mean, we got people throwing up. I don't know, you saw the emails of us telling, hey, everyone
we've all
go home,
done it.
it's too hot.
I've done it. Like, it's,
But I think and then you were also doing house calls in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we're doing service calls in the middle of it.
You're putting on Instagram, your you know, soon to be wife sleeping in the side of the car, and you guys
ran out to Parker.
You had to go,
But that's what it takes to grow, you know? Like, people they see the nice stuff, but they don't see that part of the grind, you know?
They don't see they say, what's that line? They say they're jealous of what you have, but they're not jealous of what you had to go through to get there. You know, there's so much truth to that,
and that's a real reality of it, you know?
Yep.
So
it's true, man. So yeah, I really appreciate it, bro. I wanted to tell you and just publicly announce that how much I appreciate you, because I know what you did for me on Building D. And that was a shit show in itself. Holy jeez.
Oh, man.
But dude, that's a testament to, like, you know, just having good people around this. I didn't worry. Did I even call you? I don't even know if I called you. I remember I called you.
I called you twice, and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know we're not over there, but as soon as we need to, like, I got guys in line. I got a phone call where we're ready to go. Just know, you know.
And that was cool, because I looked at Dennis. I said, we have like 2 days. I said, do you think Aaron's got it? He's like, Aaron's got it. I'm like, I think Aaron's got it. I don't need to call him.
I called Dennis, and Dennis was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, why are you so calm about it? He's like, Aaron, I know. I was like, okay. Like, I'm over here more worried than you guys are, but that's okay.
You know, I was telling Dennis, I said, and this is one of the reasons why I'm looking at manufacturing our own stuff, but you know, you guys are producing faster than the engineers and guys that are staying nice and cool and behind the desk. Like, it's kind of frustrating.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, I have a core team, and that was another thing too, is I asked I asked Nick, I said, hey, are you willing to travel? And all you guys are like, yeah, because you know what I'm trying to do.
Yep.
And so now I'm looking at it going, okay, that's the hardest thing to do is as a group, bring in a team that is like, okay, all of these subs are going to go with me everywhere I go. Yep. Oh yeah. That's the absolute game changer people don't talk about.
Yeah. That's a big
game. Yeah. That's a whole different level.
And to be able to be ready for that, you know?
But you know how cool that is? Because I think when we all leave, all the wives will just hang out and go to dinner, talk about how our men work too much. The person we're going to get when they're gone.
Luckily
I'm dying, sleeping on a blow mattress.
Yeah, I've been super fortunate with that, Like
she's great.
She's great. She deals with it. She doesn't even bat an eye.
This is my second marriage too, man. A whole different way I'm going, man. First one, it was my learning experience.
Definitely.
The second one, hey, let me tell you what I really want and need. All right, we got it.
Yeah.
But I think she set the bar higher than that for me. So I'm still getting better.
For sure.
So man, but I really appreciate you. I love you like a brother. And I'm thankful for you. And I want nothing but the best for you, bro. You're my go-to guy, period. Nobody even poaches me, by the way. Everyone knows they have to mess with me.
Someone did it once, but I'm glad that stopped.
Yeah, even Eric. Eric's like, hey, any agents call me? I'm like, dude, not one agent out here calls me. Well,
it's loyalty,
There's a lot of loyalty.
All the way around, we know.
There's loyalty. You just leave it there. The loyalty
that's a huge thing, yeah.
But it is. It's probably, loyalty over anything.
Oh, 100%. The money comes and goes. That's not even what it is, The loyalty goes a lot further. Yeah. You can make money anywhere.
Absolutely.
We can find a way to make it,
The wealth is built within loyalty.
100%.
It really is. So.
100%.
Cool,
and
man.
My son would not be okay if I left.
And you just told me what, yesterday or the day before?
Yeah. So
this was cool because my son came and worked on during the summer at 16 years old, cleaning up everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you did this for him. So real quick story.
So if I'm not exactly on the job site, I swing back by later after my guys have left and they've kind of all figured it out, but I don't let them know. So I'll come around and I'll check up on everything. Yeah. I'll run through everything that got done. And normally my 9-year-old's with me, so he'll come run around with me and I'll do my little videos and he'll walk and I'll fly the drone with him. And he loves it up here. He hangs out, And so his thing is chores. Like he'll be like, I want to buy something. So he's like, can we go clean Paradyme? And I'm like, okay, cool. It's good to teach him that. So you did that thing for the soccer kids where you brought them up and kind of let them play in the cars and showed them what you've built and how that's come, which was super awesome, And he still talks about that, and so his grandma brought him down here and she couldn't get in. And so he rambles off the gate code and lets him in here. And she's like, how do you know that, And I didn't even know he knew that.
Yeah.
He asked me once, 6 months ago,
but
what's that gate code? And I was like, didn't even think of it, So then we made him an account for something the other day, right? And he was all proud of it, had his little card, And so he's like, you know what my code is? What's your code? He's like, 24.95. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I walked away. Didn't think of it, I come back later and I'm like, dude, you use the gate code for that? And he's like, yeah.
How cool is that? A kid's first bank account that he opens up is like, oh yeah, I use Paradyme's gate code as my account.
Who would have guessed?
That's great, man. How cool is that? Yeah. That right there is what I keep trying to tell people that they don't see our company. It's those stories.
Well,
man,
that's motivation for us too, you know? As many hours as we're putting in and everything, they're watching it.
Well, as a father, man, that's so powerful because these are moments in their lives that literally is going to define their future for sure. Hard work. Look, they're going to come in here and be like, oh, 20 years from now, I was driving, I'm like, yeah, Dad did all that.
Yep.
And all of this. It's gonna
all of this. Yeah, all the way down.
Yeah, Dad built basically another mall over here,
Yeah, it's wild. 9 years old, he's in here on your golf simulator with Ryan Garland, Joe Garland, and Eric Adale. Hitting on a golf simulator with the Rolls Royce behind him, and I'm like, dude, you sure you don't want to move the car? Oh no, it's fine. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he did great though. He learned golf. He's learning golf. Yeah. One day I'll talk to him, but hey, there's more business being had on the golf course. So make sure you stay following up on golf.
Yeah,
because golf is just going to get bigger and bigger out here.
Oh yeah,
so. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you and the opportunities too.
Great.
Sure.
Absolutely. More and more for sure. So everybody, thank you very much for watching and on to the next. Have a good one.
Yeah,
boom, baby.
Awesome.